Hi guys, I'm just doing a little bit of makeup this morning. And I wanted to talk to you because I keep hearing some stuff that I want to talk about. So here it is. So I get messages, and I'm going to do my makeup while I talk to you. I get messages often from people about how blah blah blah, you're so brave. I could never say the things that you say, and thank you for doing it because I can't do it. And messages like that, right? So what I have to say, I say this to everybody who messages me, like with that same message. I say that you just have to do it. And there's some prime examples really present right now. One of them you might laugh at, and a couple of them you won't. So everybody knows Alex Jones, right? So Alex Jones was knocked off all of the platforms, right? All of YouTube, etc., Facebook, Twitter, as an effort to cancel him and take away his ability, like the left does, take away his ability to make money saying the things that he says. And what did he do? He's got his own website. Right now we see it happening with J.K. Rowling. And what's really funny is all of these people who are like, we're going to cancel J.K. Rowling. She's over. She's done. She gave us Harry Potter, but she sucks. She's just a turfy, whatever they want to come up with to call names of J.K. Rowling. What's really funny, as an aside here, is just watching her fan base, or her former fan base, just completely lose all sense of their identity and who they are, because all of a sudden the woman who gave them their wizard world that they think is real doesn't agree with something that they almost all of them have to say. It's pretty insane. But they think they're going to cancel her. So they made this woman wealthy by buying all of her books, and her movies got franchised, etc. And they think that they're going to ruin her life. Like, there's actually people all over Twitterverse saying how they're going to ruin J.K. Rowling. And she's getting death threats, and she's getting rape threats, and she's getting all of these things that women like me have been getting for years for talking about the transgender movement. And she doesn't care. And that's exactly what I love about this whole thing. She doesn't care. And that's what you have to do, is not care. And so that's what I tell people when they message me and they're like, I could never do the things that you do and say the things that you say about these important topics that I believe in. That's what makes you a fence sitter then. That kind of attitude enables this to continue. Whatever the topic is, it enables the topics to be perpetuated inaccurately. So really, you just have to not give a crap. If you are worried about being doxxed, make it so you can't be doxxed. And there are many ways to do that. You can work for yourself. You can live in a gig economy. You can start a website. There's all sorts of ways. Make sure that you're working for an employer who isn't going to cave to this kind of stuff. There's all sorts of ways that you can come up with that you are not doxable. And you have to not be afraid. And this is something I was talking with Garrett about earlier this morning, about the persistent fear that is everywhere right now. And fear does not come from God. So especially if you're a Christian person and you're afraid of this stuff, stop it. Stop. It's sinful. You're being afraid, and that does not come from God. So I, for a long time, have just not cared. I'm just doing my makeup, sorry. Just not cared about what anybody has to say about me regarding the positions that I have on things. And, we have our little threads where I'll post screenshots of things that people say to me trying to hurt my feelings or put me in my place or whatever. And we have our laugh about it because it's hilarious. Strangers on the internet don't have authority over your life. Friends that you've had that may or may not be just holdovers from high school that you're just Facebook friends with, if they're gonna call you a trash human all of a sudden because you are expressing an opinion about something based on logic, based on listening, based on, more than just taking in the the buzzwords and the headlines and, all of that, then they kind of don't matter. And it's really unfortunate that people would drag you, people who know you especially. I've had people who know me, like really know who I am, completely drag me to other people because of the transgender issue, for instance. And then I have people come back around, years later and say, oh, I'm so sorry that I listened to them because they were wrong and you weren't. And I'm always like, sorry, you made your decision. And I'm cutthroat like that. Like, cross me, you decide that I am not worth your time, that's fine. I'm fine with that. But don't come back to me and say, oh, well, I believed all these mean, nasty things about you. Will you please be my friend again? That's not going to happen. And that's kind of all part of the, I may forgive you for it, sure. And I've got plenty of instances, and I've had this woman who lives here locally. She's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, thanks for your apology. Bye. You can forgive them, but you don't have to let that kind of person back into your life either. Because they've demonstrated once already that they are totally willing to go with the mob. And if that's the kind of thing that you're worried about with regard to expressing your opinions, when those people reveal who they are, let them go. If they come back and apologize, that's great. That's really affirming that you're on the right track, but you still don't have to bring them back into your life. It's not a requirement. Daniel Tiger likes to take his watch off all the time, see? So Henri, for his whole life, has asked me, will you put Daniel Tiger's watch back on? Ever since he was little, like really little. I mean, he's still little, he's 4. So that's the whole point here is, if you want to say the things that you want to say, then say them. You just have to not care about the fallout. When I was under attack by the local SJW mob and people from across the country, when I deigned to run for school board and have the position that boys are boys and girls are girls, people tried to terrorize me. They tried to ruin my life, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it because I am firm and resolved in speaking the truth. And they couldn't do it because I'm not meant for this world. That's not going to ruin my life. Whatever they can do, it's not going to ruin my life. It's just not going to happen. And that's how you have to go about expressing your position on these topics. Because people will think that they have got the authority over you to direct your life and to ruin your life. And to, the worst thing you can do is repudiate yourself and answer to the woke mob. And say, oh, and grovel. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I said these things that hurt people's feelings. If you are speaking truth, you can speak truth in a way that is direct and does not individually attack a person and uphold your character as being a truth-telling person. Now, if you're purposefully going out there trolling and being a jerk to people, sure, like you deserve to get called out on that. if you're being purposefully mean to somebody for whatever cause you're after, like, that's just jerky. But if you are approaching these things in a direct, truthful manner, and somebody internalizes that and personalizes it, that's on them. That's not on you. And you have nothing to answer for. You have nothing to apologize for. Don't repudiate yourself to these people, because that's what they want, and that's how they win. And that's how this continues to perpetuate, is by apologizing for things that you shouldn't be apologizing for. So that's all I wanted to say. I mean, there's many examples of this, of people speaking out about things that other people want them to suffer the pains of social mobbing over, that they're just like, nah, I'm good in my opinions. And if you want to call me a bigot, if you want to call me a transphobe, if you want to call me a homophobe, if you want to call me racist or a white supremacist or a Nazi or whatever the heck they want to use to try to bludgeon you into submission, just let them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what these people think of you. And that's where you need to be in order to talk. In order to feel okay with speaking truth. And it's not my truth, and it's not your truth, it's the truth. What you see and witness with your eyes and read and hear and, take in, and things that can be verified by multiple sources and senses. That's what truth is. Truth is not an a subjective thing at all. Objective reality reigns. Facts and statistics matter. And just because Webster changes the definition of the word racism doesn't mean that it is all of a sudden different. Just because words get changed, just because everybody agrees, it's consensus. Just because everybody says something that is wrong is right, doesn't make it right. Do you guys remember that CNN ad from a few years ago when Donald Trump was elected? The banana and the apple one. This is an apple. Some people will try to tell you it's a banana. Like, that was the biggest self-own ever. Because that's all the left perpetuates at this point. And I'm not saying that the right is not guilty of any of this either, because in its own ways it is. But this self-own and this changing words and meanings and concepts to fit a narrative that isn't based in reality, you have to reject it every single time. Don't use their words and don't care about the fallout. That's all. Okay, I'm going to go downstairs and do something. I don't know. Bye, guys.